This is the I Am London podcast. In this episode, I sit down with my godfather, Dino Thompson, in my hometown of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Dino is an author and an iconic restaurateur intertwined with local history. We discuss some of my past and the things that have made me who I am, what it's like to be a Greek boy growing up in the South, and how to become a local legend. What's the biggest thing life has taught you, Dino?
Well, the things that last aren't the things you own. You buy, you borrow. If you ask somebody, what do they want to be when they grow up? Nobody ever says happy. They always say, I want to be this or that, name something. But usually happy for a young child depends on material things. And now we're in an age of gadgetitis, so everybody wants the latest and the greatest. But the things that last, if I gave you a list of the things you wanted and you wrote them down, and I gave you all those things, you might have another list after you got them all. But the things that last are the things that you do from the heart, helping other people, solving a problem for somebody, speaking to a stranger, being polite to somebody that looks like they had a bad day. Those things, they build up. They're like ammunition for the soul. The more you do that, the better you like yourself, the better you are to other people. And if there's anything that can make you content, it's that. Everybody has bad in their life. When I met you, you were a baby, but then you had a lot of bad breaks. But a lot of kids that I've worked with have had a lot of bad breaks, and you had a chip on your shoulder. You thought the world owed you better, and maybe it did, but you're no different than any other young person that had bad breaks. You lost your dad at a young age. You lost your mom. You've had other things, but the one thing you didn't do was take a terrible shortcut like drugs or alcohol that could have ended your life. That was the one smart thing. So you went to taking care of your body, which sort of saved you until you could take care of the rest of your head and your heart. And that's what I admired about you. You waded through a lot, and you came out not smelling like a rose, but smelling good. None of us smell like a rose. So, I mean, I admired your journey from those dark places. I worried about how you're going to handle it, but I admired how you worked it out, and your dad did wrong. You forgave him. That saved you. You could have that anger and that hate and that resentment all your life. All it does is eat you from the inside out. And once you're forgiven, even though he's not here, that helped you immeasurably, and it still does. You know, you're still saving yourself by not carrying that resentment all your life, because like I say, it just erodes you, and it's hard to handle. Hate, resentment, anger, hard to handle. But you did it. You handled it, and you're still going through it. You're never going to stop learning how to do it. And we've all done it. Everybody's been there, been to dark places, but some never get out of them. Some are still in them and can't escape. But the one thing that we talked about before, you got to, excuse me, you have to get out of yourself. And the only way to do that sometimes is to worry about somebody else, to help somebody else. You can't sit there dwelling on what you don't have, what you need, what you should have had, what you should have, what you deserve. Once you can you can devour your entire personality doing that. But if you get out and help other people, it takes you out of that. All of a sudden, you're doing something positive. You're creating a better life for somebody. You're creating a better life for yourself by helping that person, that person, that person. And that's the only way I know how to get out of those dark places, is to find somebody else and help them out of their dark place. And sometimes you can talk about yours while you're helping them out of theirs. And that's what you've been doing for a while. And if you continue doing that, I think you'll have a fulfillment in your life. And it's hard to get fulfillment from things. It's impossible. You know, you can buy all the gadgets, you can have all the nice things, but there's 3 or 4 people that are billionaires, and they're at the bottom of the ocean right now. Why did they go down there? Because they have everything in life. There's nothing they can't buy. There's nobody they can't buy. But they wanted to do something that nobody else could, and this was one of those things. That's because they still don't have fulfillment, even though they got $1 billion in the bank. And instead of helping somebody else, they wanted this little thing that nobody else could get. I'm going to the bottom. I'm going to go see the Titanic. And maybe now they're going to be down there with those 1,700 other lost souls for the rest of time. But to me, that's what I thought about when I thought about why they were going down there. You know, a couple billionaires, because I've got everything else. Still not full. I'm still empty. I still need something else. That's why they went. But the only way to find fulfillment in life is every day find someone to help, and then think about how you might make yourself better every day, a little bit better. And that can be tiny things, tiny steps. There's no big leap into that. It's just tiny steps. You know, the journey of 1,000 miles starts from the first step, and the journey of a good life starts from the first step. And you're doing that, and I admire that about you, because you were in some dark places, and you had some dark times. You had a chip on your shoulder, and you were thinking, I deserve better. You did deserve better. But I know another 1,000 people that deserve better. Are they any better than you? Worse than you? No, they're not. You're not any better than them. I'm not any better than them. But they had bad breaks, bad luck, misfortune, lost fortunes, lost people, lost family, lost loved ones. That's what you've been through. But you're a survivor, and you're surviving now, and you're helping others to do that. And that's, I think, not much better than that. If you can help a few people on your way through this middle stage of your life, you'll find contentment.
Dino, what does it mean to you to see me as a young boy, as your godson that you baptized, and to see all I've been through and to see me now? What does that mean to you?
Well, it's a joy, really, to see you come through it. Because when you had that little, those dark places you were living in, I tried to get you out for a while. I couldn't. I mean, we had some talks, but you weren't really hearing anything I was saying. You were dwelling on what you thought was a bad break you did deserve, and you were still letting yourself get eat up with your hating your dad, being angry with your dad, resenting your dad, and resenting the people that were not nice to your mom, and losing your mom. And that's where you were. And slowly you began to emerge. I mean, it was slow. You were crawling out of it. But now to see you enthusiastic about what you're doing, smiling, we're laughing about things. We talk about good movies. We talk about good things. You're taking care of your body, which is, you're a Greek. The Greeks took care of their body and their soul and their mind, and those were the three things they took care of. So the Greek's coming out in you, that Greek part. All things in moderation. You didn't take any shortcuts. You didn't go feel sorry for yourself and drown yourself in drugs and alcohol. I was so thankful you didn't take that route, because unfortunately, I'm an old guy. I've seen a lot of people go there and never return, die, or either disappear from the world. And thank God you didn't take that route. So it's a joy to see you healthy, happy, trying to get better for other people. Yeah, it's a kick.
Thank you, Ray.
I liked you, Dad. I remember the first time I went to Cyprus. I learned your dad was a tennis player. Alki was a tennis player. I didn't even know they had tennis over there. And then I remember your dad loved sports, and I was thinking, this is cool. These are cousins. I didn't know they were in a sport. I played 3 sports in high school and played tennis. And so I remember one of the first 3 or 4 nights I was there, they said, we're going to watch a basketball game. And I said, a basketball game? I said, yeah, Sparta is playing Haifa, Israel. I didn't realize how huge basketball is in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as big as it is here. So I sat down on a small TV and we're watching, and here comes the Greeks. A lot of Greeks are not too tall. They're our height. So 5'9" guy comes out, a 5'10" guy comes out, 5'11" guy comes out. The tallest guy's 6'1". And then here comes the Israelis. They're 5'9", 5'10", 5'11". And then here comes a guy from Brooklyn, New York, a black guy wearing a mezuzah around his neck. You can have one Greek American play and one Jewish American, but you can become Jewish. You can't become Greek. They had a 7'1" black Jewish guy from Brooklyn, New York. And I said, you guys don't have a chance. And of course they didn't. This guy was holding the ball over everybody. So I got excited that these guys love basketball, they love tennis. But your dad, once I saw you grow up, you both had a little elegant swagger. You had a poise. I watched both of you walk up to a table. You were very similar in how you approached a table in the restaurant, even how you talked. Very polite. You were always extremely polite and charming at the table. So was Petrus. So you had the same mannerisms, same little timbre in your voice. I mean, those are things that always reminded me of your dad when I was around you. And he loved to dress sharp. You were always a fop. You loved your clothes. Every time we had a party, you're always best dressed. He won best dressed at every Christmas party. That was your dad too. He loved to look good, which is good. I do too. But
good, feel good.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I tell people sometimes, they say, do you like this? And I said, if you like it, it makes you feel good. Who cares? Who likes it? That's what clothes are, if they make you feel good. Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. But your dad was he was a dresser. He was, but you had the same charms. You had the same aura, and you still do. Even though I haven't seen him in 20 years, I'm sure you still do. Yeah, I see a lot in your dad. Both good-looking guys. When I was growing up, my idea of success was it wasn't to own a lot of things. It was to be a good man to a lot of people. Now, I wanted success. But I don't measure my life in success, and I don't want you to do that either. Success will be the people that you bring forward with you on your journey. That'll be your success. I've enjoyed that with young people that have worked with me, and I've watched them prosper, grow, glow, blossom. You know, I've seen young girls that could hardly open their mouths, and now they're outgoing. You know, that's my success. That'll be yours too. It won't be owning boats and cars and planes. It'll be the people with your words, your podcasts, the people that you reach that you make feel better about themselves. And the more people you can bring along with that journey, that'll be your success. And you'll sit down someday and realize I have helped people. That's what I did in my life. You know, I didn't own 2 restaurants or 3 restaurants, or I think that's what you'll look forward to, and I hope that you get there, and I think you will.
And that's what's so cool about the journey is when you finally get a chance to have that moment that you've thought about. I've thought so many times I've wanted to hear you tell me about my dad a little bit more, get a chance to tell you about what I'm doing with my life, man. And I was listening. It just took me some time.
I know. Well, you were in a dark place,
Thank you for never giving up on me, man.
Yeah, you're in a dark place. And I used to worry about you. I remember Linda and I had a long talk one time. She said, we got to get, he said, she could see it too. She'd see you when you walked up to the bar, you just weren't happy. I said, I'm trying to reach him. He's not reachable right now. You know, when I talk to him sometimes a little, you know, I don't need anybody to tell me what to do. But you slowly opened up. You slowly let me in. And then we began to get closer. You know, that took a while. But hell, you know, you had some crap you were dealing with. But the one thing I couldn't make you understand for a while is that you weren't the only person in the world that had crap to deal with it. You know, you thought the whole world's just dumping on me. But you were working with a lot of people that had just as much crap as you.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the selfish part. You had to get over. You know, it's just me. It's not me. And as soon as you start seeing the troubles, the dark places other people are, slowly takes you out of it. That's what you did. That's what you're doing now.
Well, you taught me too to show up for people. You kept showing up for me, man. You know, and there's a beauty in showing up for people, man, because it seems this day and age people won't show up for people.
Yeah.
You know, and you taught me that. Forever great.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. When you need people, you want them to be there, not just every now and then. Yeah. And that's what you can be for people too. You know, that's what you can teach people. You know, be there when they need them, not just when you want to be there. And, you know, this has nothing to do with anything, but I liked your dad a lot. And I can't tell you how pissed off I stayed at him. You know, I mean, I wrote him a letter, not a good letter. You know, I was angry at him too. There's no justification why he did, but I forgive him. You forgive him. You know, he's got his life.
And it's the only way to allow yourself to move forward. Yeah. And forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person.
Exactly.
It took me a while to understand that too, but that is a very powerful thing that has allowed me to move forward and something that
Well, you would have never moved forward if you couldn't get past that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, we all have somebody we have to forgive. And we'll probably have somebody else we have to forgive, you know. Yeah. But you're right, it's just for us, not for them. You know, we see on TV sometimes. I saw a lady stand up last year. This guy had killed both of her daughters, and she stood up in the courtroom and forgave him, thinking, yeah, he just murdered her. I'm thinking, how the hell do you do that? But she did.
Powerful.
Yeah, it is powerful.
And it's the only way that lady's going to be able to move on with her life.
Exactly. She could never live another day, have another day.
And what a beautiful example for the world.
Yeah,
We need more of that, Dino.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Mayor. Love the Greek.
See if we can remember this thing.
Are you ready?